Hello, this is Varsha Krishnani and welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, we're going to be speaking about this debate of, well, more than a debate, a dilemma that many entrepreneurs go through is like, should I use WordPress or should I go for custom code? I must agree that there's something really magical about like having your own proprietary technology and like having your own custom code, because it gives you this ability to like create, to have your vision like brought onto life just the way you want it to do. However, like there are also many drawbacks, especially when you're starting out. I mean, I have based like multiple businesses. Some of them are proprietary technologies. One of them is Deseos. Deseos is a delivery and experience app. We've just started out, like, we're not even like out there completely in the market, but like we're still like, tweaking the features. And like, I must tell you, like building like proprietary technology is really expensive. Like, it's not like, something that you can just start out and be like, okay, I can just like, like WordPress. Let's come back to WordPress now. In a custom code, of course, you have this liberty of like, putting your wireframes and like the user flows and everything, like with your colors, with your GIFs, with your videos, with your like interactions, just the way you want it. However, I must admit that it does cost, like especially as an entrepreneur when you're like starting out in your early startup phase or something. Like one of the mistakes that I did, like, I mean, besides Deseos, like I have another few companies. One of them, like I really wanted to like build like a custom code because I've had this design like since like a long time. However, like there were many mistakes in the proprietary technology in building it. In all of this like trials and errors, like, it was a business that was suffering because it was a business that was already like, moving with like other people's technology, with white label. So I lost like a lot of time over there, and had I like, just taken like a basic, well, not basic, but a good WordPress theme and like at least started with my business out there, at least shown my inventory, at least put myself out there, then perhaps I would have had like a little bit more growth in that business by now. So I lost on that time. So I think that when you have this dilemma as an entrepreneur about like, yeah, like WordPress, but I want my custom code because like, you can't do this with WordPress, you can't do that with WordPress. But I completely get you, and you are right. Like WordPress does have its limitations, but like if you are starting out, I would say like, don't waste time. Like, if you're building, let's say if you're building a shop, like, shop is the best ways to like just get started with like WordPress, or like, if you want to build your own custom website, because there's so many themes that can just get your business like going now till the time, like, and the investment that goes into like, building a custom code. Like I keep saying that because I think I've been paying a lot of money and I have still few builds of like my proprietary technology, like, pending right now. And I'm like thinking like, wow, like right now, if you can see, I'm actually like working on like a few customizations and wondering like on my creative side, like how to make these changes like in WordPress. So I understand, like, there are certain businesses where I have taken this decision, like, very consciously, that this needs to be like, proprietary technology. Even when you're looking like to create something innovative, something that is like that doesn't exist. So perhaps that's the reason that that you might think and consider like going for proprietary tech and custom code. Then definitely you're looking for funding and all that, like all the jazz of like startups and everything. I consciously like stay away from like external funding, and like most of our companies are like self-funded and sustainable. Like they make profits and then they like like they grow based on like their ability and what we put into it and what it churns out. So we've taken like multiple times like conscious decisions of like starting with WordPress, because also like I live on an island in like the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, where most of the people who live over here are like tourism based. So like we don't really have that expert talent available over here. Yes, we do have like an influx of digital nomads over here who bring like this conocimiento, this knowledge to the island. However, that's like just remote and like passing. So we work with a lot of like people in different parts of the world. Like we hire remotely a lot. Also, we have this partnership with Erasmus where we get like university students for internship on certain companies, certain projects based on their skill sets. So that's a very revolving revolving environment when you're working with interns, and like let's say you want to have like an article uploaded because you want to make sure your SEO strategy and like you're up to date with your page, and especially if you're not very good with tech, then I think WordPress is really very important. So in our case, like in this revolving environment where we have like so many interns coming and working across like multiple projects, doing like tasks that we like send them every day, like after giving like proper like training about how to actually go about it, we couldn't do that in a custom code. Like we had like WordPress is way easier. And I also think like with the experience, like on one side I have like a proprietary tech which has been very expensive as well, and maintaining and keeping it like is something that you need to really like work out. Like if you want to build a custom code, like the cost of maintenance, the initial development cost, and it's really important like to know exactly what you want, because changes can really cost you a lot because you need to plan like an entire project. And I really think that like WordPress gives you like this ability to creatively like see your business, because many times you'll come across themes like you'll be like, okay, this is my perfect theme and I can like work around this, and maybe this plugin here, or maybe like some customization over there. However, you'll definitely meet with roadblocks because you have a vision, and somebody else's vision is something that you have taken to like build yours. So you will like, there are many people who get really frustrated. I've worked with so many different WordPress themes, like for some clients, for our companies as well. And many a times like, I just love going through the documentation because I really love like what goes behind like building the tech. So many times when I go to these forums to like see if there's like an answer to my question, like I see so many people who are like so frustrated, I need a refund, this is not there, that is not there. But I'm like guys, like whatever is there is already mentioned in the theme. So I think that like working with certain WordPress themes, bootstrapping businesses, because of course it would be really nice to like have a custom code, but I'm very grateful that I didn't go for a custom code in many of the scenarios, because I think working with certain WordPress themes like opens up your mind across like many other possibilities that like firstly you realize like what's missing, and when you realize what's missing, you see your business like differently, and like you see that okay, this could be like certain like new ideas are just gonna pop up when you're like working with WordPress because of your frustration. So I think that's really key in like tweaking your main custom code, because I'm sure if you're choosing like if you have a vision of a business, and if you're like bootstrapping and you're starting with WordPress, you do have like a vision to like start with your own custom code and have your own proprietary tech. So I think like WordPress gives you this training and like ground for like making errors and like crashing and like all of that before like you can tweak everything into your main system. And yes, I think that in today's day and age, like you have Elementor is amazing. Like in today's day and age, like WordPress has Elementor Pro, which makes like designing a website for you like so simple. Like in one day you can just have like a website ready. Like you can just like plug and play and like move things around, put a GIF here, put a video there, and like like work around and make it more creative. Like I understand like many times like people like complain about like in custom code this, that, but I think it's also a lot about your creativity, like how you combine the things that are available and like slowly scale your business. Because the mistake that I did in the past, like I didn't like show face to my business because I was waiting for my website to have its custom code. Like it was like just going on forever. Then some people called me as well like for thousands and thousands of like euros, and it just put me really down. And I was like, okay, just like screw this, let's just like go with the WordPress, let's get it out. Like there are so many people I've spoken to, so many clients that are waiting, and I don't have a website. Like that's so embarrassing, So I started out with the WordPress on one of my businesses, and I think that was like a very wise decision. And now as we are scaling, now that we are getting like we've built a very solid email list, and now we've got like contracts like expanded into like different destinations, and like we are putting that into our WordPress while we are building our whole custom code, which we are like having the trial and error, and also like breathing space to like fund it, because of course it would be very nice to like go and ask like for like millions of like dollars to someone and like give a big chunk of my company, which I don't want to do, which I don't think I'm a Sindhi, so we Sindhis are like very shrewd, they say in business. but like, I mean, or at least in my case, like very stingy with their own money. Like we like to like keep it to our shares to ourselves. So yeah, in my case, I think it has been a difficultly learning experience, but a wise decision. Like, I mean, I remember like when I was like, hung on to my custom code, no, let the code come across, and like waiting, and not having like any like front like face of like the business, which could be like, I mean, I could just go one day in all of that weight and just make like, my company's presence. So at least when I'm meeting people, there's something, but I didn't have that. That was just so stupid of me. And many people like suggested that, and that time, I don't know what I was thinking, but like, I think we all have like these learning experiences. And yeah, so that's like my take. I was just checking the time, like YouTube has this new algorithm that if you speak a lot, then people are not interested in you. But like, this is something that I really want to share. Like, if you're stuck onto a custom code, which I think you should, and make sure that you worked out everything, every user flow, every little detail, and test, and like till you get the whole product out. But till that time, like get like speed, and like get your business going. Get like, in today's day and age, they say, and I mean they say today, but I've always said that even like before, like all this internet started exploring, and like people started like building audiences, that before you get your business out, you need to like market it. Even before your product is out, you need to like get it out, like let people know about it. So I think like by the time your custom code is being built, like you should really like work on having like a WordPress. And even if you don't know Elementor, you can like design like something on Canva as well. Like Canva has like, I mean, even if you don't know like how to design or something. And also like I think that people who are not very adept with technology, like WordPress makes it very simple. Elementor makes it really very simple actually. Like it's I mean, if you're not very adept with technology, I think if you choose WordPress, like speak to someone and tell them like I want Elementor, and actually go to the YouTube channel of Elementor. They have amazing videos. Like any child, like I mean, we've had interns also like who are 16 years of age, and they've studied Elementor from the YouTube channel of Elementor, and they've worked on like very basic websites, but they've like cracked it, like so it's all there. Everything, like all the information is out there. So I think that if you want to get some speed and like get things going, like go with WordPress, and side by side build your custom code, and learn from the mistakes, and learn from the epiphanies that you have while you're using WordPress that could be added into your own feature as well. So yes, it's really late at night today. It's my fourth video. So yes, thank you so much, and I'm gonna go and work on my WordPress versus custom code in my business as well, as I'm actually what I'm doing right now is I'm writing to the theme makers of a certain theme to see if I can like add customizations. That's one thing that I actually forgot to mention, that if you use WordPress, I mean, like things can be done around. So even if there's a certain thing, a feature that's not there in your theme, and if it's really important to your business, like find a way, and there are always possibilities of like contacting the theme creator. And instead of spending like say 50,000 or like 100,000 or like something on a custom code like from scratch, you could like just like get it done in like 4 to 5 and be like, get me this feature and like just build it for me. So that is a possibility. If you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking like, what'll happen if I'm like stuck with my business in WordPress. So like have that conversation early on before you like purchase a theme and like work it around, and yeah, just think about not being waiting and like thinking about like waiting for your custom code and your finances and like getting it together, but just start with your first page and start like get moving. And yes, so that's about it for your WordPress versus custom code dilemma. I wish you all the best in whatever decision you take. It's your journey. What feels right to you. It's your vision, your circumstances. Everybody has like different surroundings and requirements and necessities and deadlines. So take a call, and wish you all the best. See you soon. This is Varsha Krishnani. Thank you so much for listening to me, and please check my videos and certain sheets that I've actually added over here for you to like learn a little bit more about WordPress and custom code from my experience in the link in the description. Also, I'm new to Instagram. I actually had deleted my Instagram like a few years back, and since like recently I'm using it, and I'm going to be like sharing a few tidbits about my life, actually about my work experience, a few moments from my office. So if you want to like get a little bit more gyan, a little bit more wisdom from my sufferings of life and experiences, which have now given me a better life. I mean, I keep saying suffering, but that doesn't mean I'm suffering, but I've really gone through a lot of like suffering, I must say. So please follow me, and see you soon. Gracias.